Welcome back to Six Bullets, Seven Kills, Chapter 9, Part 2. The cave grew darker, taking the fluorescent light from Wyatt's cubby. The monitors were flatlined, uh, alarm noises providing tunnel vision to him. I am going to tell you a story of your past, a particular tale that you will remember. However, it is important to keep in mind that it is your point of view. It is what occurred around you that you would have not have even known existed until listening to this story, said the doctor, pressing his body into the curtain. The chart in his hands, held to his chest, had the deepest impact in the curtain. Big hands with long fingers clenched the clipboard, seemed to be digging fingernails into the back of it, resisting the doctor's fingers in the other direction. He felt fear, seeing the fingernails growing longer. The fear was kept far away, like himself staring through a window far in the distance. It was a couple of months after your father's first year death anniversary. The year was 1972, and you were 9 years old. Your mother finally let you stay the night at your cousin's house. Might I add, his parents have been dead for 4 years. Remember the reasons your mother kept saying all those times asked? And it was this day she offered you the chance to stay the night over the weekend. His father was a drunkard, getting into fights all the time, died drunk on the job, fighting his fellow miners in the tunnel working with him. He deserved to die the way of a pickaxe buried deep in his chest. My sister, bless her heart, head over heels in love with him. Fuck his feelings, she would say. That fucker caused my sister to slice her own wrist, losing the love of her life. Fuck the Mahoys, including Spencer. Amazing, she offered. Wyatt felt the exact joy now as he did back then, chilling his bones. Your mother had made up her mind earlier in the week. The only thing left was to forget how he felt between her legs. Dropping you off, she parked in front of the barber shop. This time of the year, the dusk light was a month beyond the darkest night of the year. She wore her tight, slightly weathered pockets, cuffs, bottom ends to her yellow tan flannel, knee-worn light blue denim jeans, cuffs frilled. And when she entered Whitlock's bar, she scanned the current patrons. Walking up to the bar, she took a seat between two farmhands, the top three buttons of her flannel shirt unbound, exposing her freckled cleavage. There she allowed the farmhands to buy her drinks. Letting them compete with one another had made her blood pump smoother than it had been in years. Shots of tequila from in between her breasts, salt extracted from either side of her neck above the collarbone from each farmhand. During those moments, I could feel the pulsation of blood in your mother's vagina, smelling the secretion pheromones bubbling out from the spasming reheating of her pleasure oven. She even talked into them sharing her. She even talked into them sharing her. She wanting to feel the experience of both her hosts simultaneously thrusting deeply in over a matter of triple orgasms. However, one of the farmhands didn't want his balls smacking against the other ball's sacks occasionally. The two farmhands went into the restroom to discuss who was going to fuck your mom. It was truly funny hearing the other saying, "It doesn't mean anything. We wouldn't be fucking each other." I've sacked other sacks and vice versa so many times that the afraid one was missing out on some tasty pleasures, focusing only on the particular spot in the act. Truthfully, He may have been afraid of his sexually desire turning into fucking his friend or his friend fucking him. They decided to have a smoke out back in the loading area. Afterwards, they would settle it over the best 2 out of 3 match over paper, rocks, and scissors. I slipped out the back door before them, faking a phone call on the payphone in the hallway of the restrooms. They walked out, and while they were smoking, I walked up to them from out of the shadows. Back then, I wore suede black trench coats. I startled them, which they were intending to have a meaningless conversation with me. I, the gentleman that I am, would never keep a lady licking vagina fluid for me over a bullshit conversation with a stranger. So, I challenged them for the right to fuck your mother. I love letting others engage me first. It lets me see what they got in them, which was old classic alley brawl moves. So tiresome indeed. I did a standing pole 180 flip over the top of one's head, pausing in height. I grabbed his shoulders, descending my right knee into the base of his neck, dropping my rapid gravity ascension into a plummeting knee strike, bouncing his paralyzed body off the concrete. His friend made an extremely slow counter off offense just after witnessing his friend smash into the craggly alley ground. I simply grabbed his esophagus, crushing it between my thumb and forefingers, choking to death, made him collapse into my arms. I simply lifted him up from under his arms, squeezing his chest tightly just below the center of my own, and flew straight up 100 feet. He struggled both in death and horror as I sank my teeth into his neck, flying over the town to the cliffs of Cove Road. These guys made it easy for me to carry a gun in its holster strapped to their hip side. Never even registered to either of them to use it in the brawl. If they were killers, they were chicken shit killers, just not proven yet. I have seen it played out enough to spot them through their reactions. I took his gun over the cliff out, cocking it. I placed the muzzle in between my feeding marks, from which I bit out the fleshy meat on the in betweens, spitting the chunk into the abyss below, and pulled the trigger. Then I just let go of everything. I returned doing the same thing with the other man. They quenched my thirst, allowing me to focus my pleasures. I re entered through the back door without my trench coat. I went into the restroom to wash up. I watched the worry of your mother feeling like she may have fooled herself. I became the knight in shining armor, acknowledging seeing her with the 2 farmhands, knowing I did not have a chance to experience her deeply with them in that way. I admitted to my dilemma. I told your mother it looks like I lucked out. If I was appeasing enough to her eyes, she stood up, rubbing my pectoral muscle, traveling quickly to grab my manhood, delighted in what she was squeezing. I drove her car back to her house. All the while, your mother was